Hey there, YouTube friends, Bandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I always do appreciate it. And look, Planet Coaster is back on the channel. Thanks to Redline and our little Bronation quarantine competition, which I'll talk about in a second. I'm kind of back in a Planko mood, so we're going to be playing some Planet Coaster here during this tumultuous time. I hope everyone that watches is doing okay from all around the world. Things are a little hectic right now. Myself, I am working from home until at least the middle of April, but I'm going to guess probably longer than that. Kiddos are all home, wife is home, everyone's at home. Big transition, but don't worry, I have enough toilet paper. So here we are in Summerdale, where Redline left it for us. If you haven't been watching my Planet Zoo content, the way we're going to do this is instead of time-lapsing, I'm going to be doing cuts, and you're going to be seeing my progress throughout the last, from the last video. And what I'm going to try and do is show some things that I've been working on and make it, hopefully interesting. So, but I love this view. The problem here now is that we need to kind of clean it up, because this is all quite raw and open. Redline left us with quite a bit of work to do, which is totally fine. But we've got to incorporate this log flume. It's definitely not incorporated at all. And so that's what we're going to be working on in this episode, is making this look a little bit better. Making it look more incorporated in the area. So stick around and you'll see the progression. And hopefully by the end it'll look pretty okay. So let's go to our first update. Alright, so right off the bat, you've probably noticed that the color saturations have changed. I've started fiddling around with some of the in-game filters to kind of make it look a little more vibrant, make it look a little bit better, get some less blue and bring out some of the warmer colors. So that's going to probably be changing throughout this episode, but hopefully whatever I settle on at the end of this episode is what I stick with. But you can see, hopefully you can see some work's been done. So far, not a lot, just kind of figuring things out. I've gone ahead and I've extended this brickwork that Redline started. Fantastic brickwork. And all it is brick pillars that you can navigate. And I had to do some Z-fighting issues here. And if you look real close, it's not perfect. But as an idea, I think it works really, really well. So I did also put in this custom brick, this custom fencing. And this is just spooky planks with spooky beams. Custom wooden fence. And I put an advertisement right here. Come back tomorrow for only $10. Don't get too attached to this, the wood fencing. Don't get too attached. But you'll also notice up here, we've given the sign a little bit of pizzazz here, a little bit. Sycamore Falls. Gave it the little saw blade there to kind of symbolize, oh, it's a sawmill, hee hee hee. This planter's going to need some work. That'll be something we'll tackle in this episode. We're going to try and make this not so easily accessible. We're going to try and carve out some areas here for the coaster so that people can't go running around in the coaster. Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff we're going to be working on. A lot of nitty gritty, but I think it will really make a big difference. I've worked a little bit here on Professor Wurst. This now has a name. It is Professor Wurst Shop, and I like it. I love this little. It's one of my favorite in-game brands, so I wanted to go ahead and include it. And there is a shop back there to draw people in, but they are not really eating. They're not very hungry. So, but yeah, I think that's about all I have at this point. But let's keep plugging along, and we will hopefully see some bigger changes. So not much to see yet, but let's get cracking. Alright, so while we were over here in this part of the map, I realized we didn't have any shops or anything like that. Like, the closest shop, I guess, is the ice cream shop, but really the Johnny Rockets. And you have to walk quite a ways, and we have some lockers over here, but not really anything to buy stuff. So I tried to squeeze in a couple small stalls, and it was really rather difficult to, and these are just, just ideas. These obviously aren't not complete in any capacity, but we're getting there. This is kind of a just, do I want this size building here, and what can I do? And I had to play a lot with the supports, with the coaster placement, because if I move it even a little bit, the supports go right through the building, and I do not want that. And that really made it difficult on where I could put it. So basically, that's not right. Wherever I put it, like, that's pretty much the only place it can go. I think I tried to have it rotated even, but that didn't really work either, and it doesn't, I mean, I could do that, I guess, but I don't like that, because then this area here is inaccessible. So with this like this, I can at least, with this building like this, I can at least keep this area open. And what I'm going to do is we're going to have a semi-outdoor stall, so we'll have some stuff here, we'll have some more stuff inside. Maybe that's where we'll put a vendor actually in here. But we'll see if we can even fit a vendor in. We might not be able to. This might have to be all phony baloney stuff. We'll see what happens. But I love the fact that the coaster gets right here. I did delete the cover. I thought that was lame. I didn't like that. I'm kind of removing them in several places because they look ugly. So at some point it's like, I'd rather it look nice. We've got these triangles we'll have to do something with. Could put a vendor or something in here. We've got this open area here that I'm still pondering what we're going to do with. So we'll figure that out hopefully pretty soon. We've got these planters that are going to need dressing up. But you can see the biggest change here in this update is this. After showing it off to Redline, he did not think that the wooden fence was such a strong idea. And I was actually like, oh, come on. But after removing it and putting in the nice wrought iron fencing, he was 100% correct. This is now a major focal point, and it clears up the views so you can see all the way back there. I mean, I love this now. I've ripped out all the plants in the planter. We will do something with this planter, but I wanted to get the unobstructed views. Like, I just love this. This is so good. You get the splash, you get the Johnny Rockets, you get the coaster. I really am happy with it. Cleaned up a bit more here, added some more foliage, just getting it set into place. And that's what a lot of this is going to be, just adding lots of foliage, adding some details. I think we need to add a fence around here to keep people from going in the area there. We definitely need to do that. So yeah, just a quick little thing to show you what's happening thus far. So let's take a look at what we get done, well, next. Okay, so I took a big jump forward here. This is actually, I went back and I was looking, there's actually a couple different files up. So behind the screen, what I'm doing here is I already know where we're going to end up. And I have a variety of files that I go through to show you the progress every time I stop for a day. Whenever I play, wherever I stop, I save it as a new file, and then I can just go and you can see incremental progress. The problem is the increments were really small this week. Honestly, all things considered, my time has not been spent playing games, even though I have more time here at home. A lot of time spent trying to transition into living and working and teaching at home. And I mean, I've got my own kids home here now, and part of it is also playing. I'm trying to stay active with friends through online, playing Dungeons and Dragons and board games and stuff like that. And so that's been a lot of my time as well. So I don't have as much to show you as I might have originally thought, but I think it's still looking, I think you can see where we're headed, and most of this area now, I think feels pretty darn good. So here's what we did with the planter. We put a little boat in to kind of Sycamore Falls boat ride. I mean, I don't know, that seems fine. Low to the ground though, nothing major, so that we didn't block the splashdown from any direction, and that we also didn't block the entrance to the ride. I want you to be able to see where the entrance is. You'll also notice we've really cleaned up all of this area here. We put this chain link fence in. I know it looks kind of jank, but I kind of like it. You can still see in there just fine. You're not going to go jumping in there. And this isn't going to surround the entire area, just for this particular area. But we dressed it up nice in front with hedges and dark leaf plants. It is kind of a shady area, so these dark leaf plants kind of to indicate that, you know, the water and the shade kind of is more for like ferns and all that kind of stuff. So did plop this little vendor in to cover up some little spots we have, and I just love this. This is these are from Fisherman. This popcorn vendor is from Fisherman. You can find it on the workshop. It is fantastic. He's got a collection of like 7 or 8, and they're all great. You'll see another couple of them around the park as we go here. So One of the things that I did, I threw benches everywhere, and all different kinds of benches everywhere. When I was at Cedar Point last summer, I couldn't believe how many benches there were and how there was absolutely no rhyme or reason to how they were put down. So, got this nice garden here under these supports, and I can imagine this being a really thrilling part. Like, I don't think you're going to be able to reach the coaster, even if you were to be dumb and go in the planter. But we do have the chain link fence there where it gets really low to the ground, and I even went so far as to make sure that this side too, like, we protect it on all sides. Also, one other thing I might go back in and do is rip out some of these plants that I put in, because I want this to look really new. I'm trying to strike a balance here. I want the Flume to look old, but obviously this mock coaster is brand new. So I want there to be a hard line where they had to rip out foliage and stuff to put this coaster in. So I might even bring this back a bit more. But you can see here what I'm doing is I'm starting to add a bunch of plantings in, and I'm not done, but I'm going to try to do this throughout most of the ride. Kind of lush overgrowth here. Again, dark greens. I am using some of these jungle plants to kind of give the idea of ferns and hostas, other shade trees. There's a lot of shade plants here. And I figure with all the water, ivy and stuff like that would grow. You know, those plants that like to be around water areas. So that's what we're going for. That's the look we're going to do, and we're going to extend it hopefully to all these areas here. It's just a tedious process, so it's one of those things that'll get done over time. But this view, like, now we're starting to get some really neat views, I think. Like, I really enjoy this view. I think that's pretty cool. So, but if we go back on the path, I started dressing up this drop tower. We need to finish. It's not done yet, but you get the general gist. We'll put the fence here. We'll clean this up a bit more. But I did want to add a really simple queue cover in this area because we have the little switchbacks here. I threw down some of the adventure concrete, or the adventure walls, the ones that are non-gridded, and they work great as concrete pads. And so we did that, did some custom fencing, but then the rest of it we just used the in-game queue fencing, and whoa, there it goes. I could imagine standing in this queue and just, holy crap. It also kind of does a good job of, maybe not, of doubling for coverage because of the coaster, but that's one of those things I'm not really going to be all that concerned about. But you can see this chain link goes all the way, and then it drops to just a regular fence here. And that's probably what we're going to continue, just we're going to have nice fencing all the way around. Not quite sure what's going to happen here yet. We'll figure that out. But so you can see how crowded this area is, but I love it, and I'm really enjoying how it's coming together. Hopefully you are enjoying it as well. You're thinking it's looking pretty okay. I'm pretty pleased. So if we go back this way, though, there is more. I've done lots of so basically this was a gardening episode. Big old garden episode. We still haven't done anything with this yet. I'm not quite sure, pardon me, not quite sure what this is going to be, but we have cleaned all of this up now. We've gone ahead and filled in this planter with some nice flowers. This is a nice little focal point here. You can watch the boats coming out of the station. I like that a lot. I think that's going to be really nice. I think it turned out quite nice. And again, flanked by taller trees to kind of block everything in. Dig the way that looks. Added another one of these stands here. This is another cart by, like I said, by Fisherman. It's a root beer cart. And we'll take a look at that. And still not sure what to do with this area yet, but we'll figure it out. And then the biggest change here is I actually made this little area. If you remember back earlier in the video, we had that empty space I didn't know what to do with. We made it a little exit gift shop. So you can come out here and grab your little Sycamore Falls gift, gift stuff, merchandise. There we go, that's the word. And it's an open air stall, but I love it. And all these things are found on the workshop. If I go to my blueprints and type in gift, these are these gift shop items, and they are by, pull this up here for you so you can see, Mr. MR. Oh, okay. These are Mr. Misters. These are fantastic. Highly recommend you download these if you haven't. It's all, as far as I know, it's all in-game items, no TMTK stuff. I am actually pretty light on the TMTK usage, at least for myself. There's lots of TMTK in the park because Redline has used a bunch, which is totally cool. I just haven't really used a lot of it yet. So, oh wait, I've used the roofs. Never mind. But yeah, actually this is TMTK here. These are not, this is not part of Mr. Mister's set. These are obviously Theme Maker's Toolkit items. These little the rack and the shirts. So, but what I really like now is kind of the dichotomy between this older, like retro 80s kind of thing going on, but then you got like this little western area because of the log flume ride, and I like that little dichotomy. And it also now is creating this nice little drag here, this nice little walkway that will be punctuated by this stall. Maybe we'll even make this tower a little bit taller. I'm not sure. So cleaned up this area as well. Continued the brickwork all the way around until it met its natural end. Threw a bunch of trees in here, and I am really happy with how this all turned out. And hopefully you are as well. Hopefully you think it ended up looking pretty nice. If we go up, you can see how much more included it looks. It doesn't quite stick out of the park as much anymore. It kind of feels like it belongs there now. And especially once we get all this green space cleaned up, that's going to be really, really nice. So yeah, it doesn't look like much, but it was a lot of thought put into how it's going to be incorporated into the area and what we're going to show off and all that stuff. So hopefully you enjoyed. And that's all I've got for you today. We're going to try and get another episode out here. I should be getting some time, hopefully. And I do still want to play Planet Zoo. So hopefully we can get some episodes of both games out in the future here. So with all that being said, if you did enjoy, you know what to do. Hit the like button. If you are excited for Planet Coaster, consider subscribing, as well as for Planet Zoo. With all that being said, have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever, and I'll see all of you for the next episode of Summerdale. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.